Hello, everyone. Welcome to my show. So, today is the big day for the big match of the Australian Victoria Main League with the the match will be between the South Melbourne versus Green Gully. So the South Melbourne is in number two in the table with 37 points, total points, and the Green Gully is in seventh position with 18 points. Uh, so the South Melbourne is going to head to head with the Green Gully starting on today at 9 a.m. after 10 minutes. So the match is a part of the Victoria NPL 1. So the South Melbourne played against Gringley in first match this season. Currently, South Melbourne ranked second. I told you before. So while the Gringley holds seventh position with 18 points. So looking to compare the best rated player on the both teams. So here is the review and the analysis. For both for those who bet on this game, it is Shad the 1.70. It says 59% win, 83%. So for the South Melbourne, okay, so 3.50 odds, is up to 29% for the Grigori, when the odds are 3.50. So the expected chance of winning is 29%, but this team actually wins 44% match with these odds. So uh, when we see where the 1.70 odds, when the odds are 1.70, expected chance of the winning is 59% for the South Melbourne. So, the South Melbourne actually wins 83% of match with this odds. So choose the best odds for you to meet and to win over this game. Think have a nice match and good luck for both uh, betting options. When head-to-head streaks, when we see the South Melbourne no lose 9 matches and both teams are less than 2.5 goals, and both teams are less than 4.5 cards, 10 of them. So you have this option of the bettings. So the 4.20 is for draw for both teams. So good luck and have a nice time. I think you will enjoy this best game in the night show. So if you have comments and any ideas, you can write on the comment sections and please subscribe. This is the new YouTube channels to stream any football games around the world so you can enjoy in HD high definition live sports shows. So we have to we have to see who will be the winner on this game. So we will be we will be in touch after the game. So have a nice time and good luck for everyone enjoying this game.
last week, and Josh Wallen in central midfield. Alan Webb and Max Nickel will provide the pace on the flanks, while Ajak Riak will lead the line. On the bench for the home side today, Liramel Marzi dropping to the bench, Andy Brennan, Marcus Throne also dropping to the bench, Brad Norton, who came on last week, William Layoun, and Ali Suleimani. 2 changes as well for Stephen Downs' Green Gully Cavaliers. That sees the Argentine duo come in to attack Alan Jerez and Noel Bernardo, who will flank Ado Kadakpo in attack. The midfielders Josh Hope, Abdul Rahman Kuku and Leighton Lawton. The captain is Jordan Lampard at left back. Central defenders Taylor Shrivers and James Doyle. Justin Spiteri holds his spot at right back, and Liam Driscoll is in goal. No substitutes. Mitch Graham, Tyler Vecchio, a return to the bench today for Pierce Waring, who's been out those last 3 matches that they've lost with injury after colliding with the post against Dandenong Thunder on that Friday night fixture, which was their last win. Gianluca Iannucci also on the bench today. Reef Murfitt and Ismail Haji. Now, a bit of a mismatch perhaps today on recent form, Craig, but do you think Green Gully might be able to bring a game plan that can challenge the South Melbourne lineup today that's been all-conquering of late, the form team of the competition?
Yeah, look, I think they have to. I think they have to bring a game today. They need a win. As you said in commentary there, Steve, it'll be their longest barren spell in 3 years of not getting a win. So, it's a big ask for them today. Having Pierce Waring back on the bench will no doubt lift their spirits slightly, knowing that he's on his way back. So let's see what Steve Downs and Steve Laurie have in store for us today. And they're in a bit of trouble here early on with Max Mikkeler with the gloves on. We know what's coming.
That's right. Plenty of grippo on those gloves, no doubt, Craig.
I'm sure there is.
About to send this one in. Try and test Liam Driscoll and his defence. Doyle and Shrivers back there. It's got some real height on that ball. Well away by James Doyle, who applauds the defensive concentration from his team in the opening minute of this one. He got his head to it, and as you said, Craig, a high foot. So good bravery by the young leader of that defensive unit there, James Doyle, winning the header and trying to win that first header is really important, Craig, to set that example for what's to come for the rest of the match.
Yeah, look, there's going to be lots of that today, and I think, defensive shape, defensive organisation is going to be critical for Gully, knowing how South Melbourne play, very direct, getting numbers and balls into the box as soon as they possibly can. So just being defensive organised today is going to be critical for them.
It's a free header by Yankovic, and Riak, who put one, I wouldn't say on a platter, but was involved in the setup of the first goal for Pat Langlar last week at CV Smith Reserve. Here's Noel Bernardo. He'll give a bit of confidence and energy. And Lampard's been upended there. And there's a yellow card straight away coming out for the protagonist on the far side there. Lampard was sent about 6 foot up in the air as he tried to play that ball forward.
Yeah, it was a big shout from supporters and the coaching staff there, wasn't it? Early on.
It was a bit of feeling between these two sides. They, of course, played that semi-final last year where South Melbourne got over the line 1-0 in that one. Back on the 4th of September. Alan Webb was the difference on 57 minutes. There was that injury to Ben Jeeba that day, and the South faithful did not appreciate the treatment that Ben Jeeba got that forced him out of the following week's grand final. A lower limb injury from a late tackle, so
it's actually quite a long time, wasn't he?
Yeah, so
all of pre-season, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's good to see him back in the lineup today, starting at right back. And of course, Jack Painter-Andrews has probably got no complaints because he's been pushed further up the park into a midfield role today, so we'll be enjoying that as that ball moves the field, and it's almost going to bounce up the steps to our broadcast position here.
It's actually a fantastic afternoon for football, Steve. There's hardly a breath of wind. In fact, this feels like summer up here, actually. It's not too cold. There's no wind. There's a little bit of rain that we've had has made the pitch nice and glossy, so it should be perfect for football.
That ball was a little bit too vertical by Marko Yankovic, so an easy claim for the West Australian. Driscoll in the all-purple kit today. He's just taking a little bit of time off the clock. He's going to go long himself, so...
Is that purple or lilac, Steve? What was it?
Maybe lilac,
violet. Lilac, yeah.
Look at Nicola go. He's kept that one in. Still he goes, getting around Spiteri, floating it in. Reacts there. Full stretch. Away by Lawton. What a great run by Nicola. A welcome inclusion after missing out through suspension last week. Max Nicola, the Queenslander. Harris putting himself about. Plenty of raised voices from the technical areas from both sides over there. I feel like both teams have come to play today. Here's Evans. Play it up to React, but it's interception, and here comes Gully. Just out of reach for Lawton. Overlapping centre-back action here from Yankovic. And Alan Webb getting forward. The Pistons are pumping. React's in the middle. Jack React, and good defending by Doyle, and then away by Spiteri. But it's another wave of attack about to come back. So Gully, you're going to have to keep the concentration as the ball comes in. It wasn't the best cross by Nicola. Here's Jack Poe trying to get his first touch of the afternoon, who scored a solo goal last week.
It's really interesting, Steve. We were here just a few weeks ago to watch the Avondale and South Melbourne game, and South Melbourne were really disciplined in their performance that day against a very good footballing side. Green Gully, as we know, like to get the ball down and play, and they are a footballing side, so it'd be really interesting how they adapt today, knowing what Avondale tried to do a few weeks ago and try and play football against South Melbourne, and it didn't quite work for them. So it'll be interesting whether Steve Downs goes a little bit more direct today and just sort of plays the game with South.
Well, that ball was a decent looking one off the boot by Nicola and nodded behind for the first corner kick of the afternoon. As you say that, Craig, the early signs are that Gully look like they're going to play maybe a little bit more direct than they usually do, playing out long, and they've also got Abdul Rahman Kuku sitting right in front of that back four, as we normally see with Liram Almazi, who interestingly has been left on the bench today. He was substituted at half-time last week by Esteban.
Yeah, he's got a bit of an injury. I was actually speaking to his father yesterday afternoon down at Corio, and he's got a little bit of an injury, I think, on his neck or his shoulder, so they're resting him today.
Nicholas ball in, 2 fists to it from Driscoll. Webb's going to pick up the second ball. It's the curler, not really aimed at anyone in particular. As we expected, a cagey opening to this one. South Melbourne with the better of the general play so far in the 8th minute. Now, match referee today, Astro Sakalis, assisted by Josh Drakeford and Daniel Anderson. Fourth official is Puya Gadirian. And as you said, Craig, it's a good day for football. I rugged up and on the way here, as getting stuck in a traffic jam, as you do when you try and drive to Lakeside at this time of day on a Sunday. A little bit warm, had too many layers on.
Yeah,
it's stripping off. It's about 14 and a half at the moment. So compared to some of the midweek action out at the Australia Cup during the week where it was absolutely icy, this is much more pleasant conditions for football. And there's a reasonable crowd on that far side. I haven't found full voice yet. But here comes Gully with their first attack of the afternoon. Alan Jerez was the most advanced player. The ball was from the fellow Argentine Bernardo. He couldn't quite cut it back enough to find his compatriot.
Yeah, he's disappointed there with. I'm presuming he's disappointed with the cross, but he was being tugged back a little bit as well. Maybe it was the fact that he didn't get the benefit of the doubt from the referee.
Can Green Gully box the South players into their own third here? Let's see. Mikola's going to just go route one over the top. React the target down the line that time. Webb was acrobatic. He hit the turf pretty hard. Foul going his way. Yankovic didn't get a good piece of that one. And Lawton's ball does eventually find Bernardo, courtesy of a ricochet off Jeeba. And Jeeba's persistence, he's going to be rewarded for that as he gets that one up the field.
It's a free kick there in exactly the same spot as it was 12 months ago in that semi-final, as you said, Steve, there, where he's cleared the ball and got clattered in the exact same spot.
There wasn't a lot of malice from Bernardo that time, but yeah, you could see there was a sense of deja vu on the faces of the Clarendon corner, who are so close to that position of the field too, Craig, which certainly It was a very unsavoury scene last September. Might have been a high boot by Cuckoo there, who puts a hand up in apology. Play is allowed to continue, and Jake Marshall's going to run all the way back. Jake Marshall was one of the few players who were playing in the match when Green Gully last got a win over South Melbourne. And South are unbeaten against Gully in 9 consecutive matches now, so this would make it 10. That last win for Green Gully was a 3-0 win at this very venue when they were coached at the time by Arthur Pappas in 2018. So a long time between drinks, so they will celebrate long and hard if they can get the 3 points today for multiple reasons.
Yeah, you can see there what Gully are trying to do, trying to get the ball, win that first ball, get the second ball out as quick as they can, and try and capitalise on some of the South Melbourne players up, and then getting the ball quickly into the box. Bernardo into Jerez into the middle, or vice versa. Injury there for Alan Webb, is it?
Yeah, problem for your Welsh compatriot there, Craig, who he went for that aerial duel a few moments ago, got a bit of a ride off the shoulder of his opponent and hit the deck fairly firmly, and he might just be feeling the effects of that, perhaps. Let's see if South Melbourne have got any substitutes warming up.
Andy Brennan looks as if he's warming up on that far side there. I suppose you can never be too careful, can you, Steve? Especially, we saw it in the playoff final in the UK over the past 12 hours, where one of the Luton players just collapsed in the middle of the park again. Don't like seeing that.
Not good to see.
No.
Hats off to Luton Town.
Yeah, who'd have thought, eh? 9 years ago in the Conference of Football, and now playing in the Premier League. That's what dreams are made of, isn't it?
It feels like it wasn't that long ago when they received that 30-point deduction and forced that relegation to Conference. It's fantastic that they can be rewarded for their hard work, and what a progression that is through the leagues.
Here we go.
Here's a chance for Lawton to cut this one back. Well read by Josh Wallen. He's been known as a goal-scoring midfielder this season, but he's back doing his defensive duties really on point there. Here's the youngster Spiteri, who's enjoyed an extended run at right back and forced the slightly older Mitch Graham to operate from the bench. Here's Bernarda. 2 24s going at it. Bernarda and Jiva. Bernarda with the tricks, but the pitch was a little bit too short for him there as he headed towards the pole vault run-up area. He just ran out of space.
Yeah, look, I think from a Gully's point of view, they're sort of loss in form, loss of another player going down here. Ajak Riek's just gone down in the middle.
This is really not good news for South Melbourne. First, Alan Webb going down.
Yeah, but just going back to Gully there, as we're talking about injuries, their talisman in the middle of the pack. Luke Jago's obviously been missing. He's out long term, which is going to have a massive effect because he was
succumbed to a hamstring injury.
Yeah, he was probably one of the probably most consistent, probably best and fairest on ground in the first part of the season. So that's a big miss not to have him in the side as well. Well, this doesn't look good for React, does it?
No, and I completely missed seeing what was the issue that saw him go to the floor. We've just got an issue with our replay screen. It's not streaming for me at the moment, so I can't even go back and check that one. But
yeah, I think it's his knee. I think he may have jarred his knee. He jumped for the ball probably 3 or 4 minutes ago and chested it down on that far side, just in front of the Green Gully dugout there. And I'm not sure whether he's landed awkwardly, maybe twisted his knee slightly, but he's up and he's walking about, which is hopefully good news for himself and South.
Looks like he will be okay to continue. He's been through a power of work. He's the target for so many of those aerial balls forward. Also taking off in March when he was off representing South Sudan on international duty as well. He's been jet setter. He's been very consistent.
He's perfect for South Melbourne, Steve. He's perfect for how they play. You know, they had the big man up front for them last year who went off to play in the Indian Super League, and they've replaced him with an athlete. That's what Riak is. He's an out-and-out athlete. he's a handle.
And we've already seen today him doing work even in the wide areas and stuff where a lot of strikers might not be popping up the touchline, trying to win that first header down. And players, as we said, players like Pat Langlar have really benefited from having the likes of Riak with all of those really good knockdowns. His vertical leap is very impressive, as we've seen here in recent weeks. It's an offside decision against Jack Painter Andrews, who's looks to be operating as on the right side of the attack.
It looks like Alan Webb's day's done.
Substitution for South Melbourne FC, coming off number 19, Alan Webb, being replaced by number 7, Andy Brennan.
So Andy Brennan is going to slot into the attack as well, and it might be a slightly deeper role for Max Mikla on the left-hand side. Keep an eye on that one, Craig. Yankovic wants that one to go out. It doesn't want to, though. It was the same place as where we saw the corner flag, where it got poleaxed in the match here a couple of weeks ago against North Geelong. Away by Marshall. Morton's going to get there first. He holds his composure under the bouncing ball. A bit of possession for the visitors now. This is the skipper, Lampard on the far side. He's been very consistent in recent weeks at left back. Doesn't get forward crazy amount, but he does here. His touch goes straight to Pat Langlar. So the sides just exchanging possession at the moment. Who actually wants the ball and who wants to go and break down the opposition? It's a risky move at this venue, as we've seen, trying to play football, as you said earlier, Craig. And let's see if the team who's bravest is the team that comes away with the 3 points this afternoon.
Yeah, South Melbourne just letting Gully just have the ball in that middle third there, and then Gully are looking to. You can see what they're trying to do. They're just trying to wait for the opening and get that ball in behind. A little bit, as I said earlier on, a different type of football to what we're used to seeing from Gully, who certainly at Green Gully Reserve are a very attractive football side to watch. But coming here to Lakeside, it is a smaller pitch, a lot narrower, a lot smaller in length. Sometimes not conclusive for playing nice ticky-tacky football.
Looks like South have gone with two up top with Brennan next to Riak in something of a 4-2-2-2 with the two number 6s, Langlar and Wallen, and then the two wide players slightly further forward, Nicola and Painter Andrews. Here's Gadakpo, who normally plays as the number 9 himself, but he's playing in a deeper role so far today. He's won inside a free kick, and it's going to be the second yellow card of the afternoon.
For Yankovic, I think, isn't
Coming out here, it does look like it is Yankovic, who's
and he's injured himself.
might have hurt himself as well, so it's a bit of a horror start for South Melbourne. Alan Webb already substituted. Yankovic shown the yellow card. And a free kick for Gully in a handy position, though South will be confident that they've got the tall timber and the adequate height and organisation to repel this and any similar style of attack. But they can't underestimate the height and strength of the likes of Kadakpo and Shrivers and Doyle in there as well. And even Noel Bernardo, who isn't the tallest man, but he has a pretty impressive vertical leap on him as well.
Every player from South back in the box, apart from Mikkel, who's just protecting that ball into the front.
Protecting the valuable assets as well. There is Mikler, and here's Alan Jerez. He puts it in. Harvey Lopez should get there. He sort of flapped at it a little bit there. I don't know if he got a touch, but Painter Andrews is back to mop up there in the white boots. Play it up to the line to the substitute, Andy Brennan. Andy Brennan was also playing for South that day when Green Gully last got a win against South back in 2018. He left the club and went on a bit of a journey since then, and of course had a good stint himself at Green Gully Reserve. 18 games and 2 goals for the Cavaliers in 2019 for Andy Brennan. Riak winning that ball again, but unable to control it in the direction of any of his teammates. And he set a task that was even too difficult for someone of his talents there, Jack Riak, with that ball forward. Almost 20 minutes gone, and No shot fight in anger yet so far. These sides just looking to feel each other out and get the upper hand. And, of course, once South Melbourne do score an opener, they are really, really hard to play against. And Stephen Downs is well aware of that and not taking too many risks with having too many players committing, leaving too much space in behind so far.
Yeah, I think that's key, Steve. You know, it is when they get that first goal, they tend to shut up shop. And as you said, they're just a very, very difficult seat to break down, particularly here. It's a good start from Gully. Seeing plenty of the ball. Perhaps not creating as much as they normally do, but you'd expect that.
One's blocked.
Oh,
it's
here we
fall
go.
for Jerez. Oh, what a save by Harvey Lopez. It's showing why he's the best goalkeeper in this competition there. Jerez looked like a really good chance to score, and Mikula might go into the book for this. Well, it will at least be a free kick.
What a glorious opportunity that was. Great play from Bernardo down on the wing. Gets the ball into the box. A miscue, but Alan Jerez shot fantastically saved from Javier Lopez, and he keeps the score at 0-0. But that'll buoy Green Gully up, knowing that there's opportunities if they get at that back four and get into those wide areas. Great ball in.
Another good ball in indeed, and then the second ball just fell on a vacant patch of grass, and Andy Brennan across to clear it up into the grandstand in front of the Clarendon corner section of the active supporters who've been rather quiet so far. There was a bit of atmosphere generated from that section during the women's match earlier. South Melbourne defeating Burundara Kerry Eagles in the NPLW win at thriller, 4-3. Just caught the end of that one as we arrived. Would have liked to have seen a bit more of it, but as I was saying, the traffic on the way here, I'm going to get the train next time I come here, Craig.
Might be quicker for you, Steve.
Here's Kadakbo with a long throw with Green Gully trying to do a South Melbourne back to South Melbourne, you could say. That's good skill by Mikula, but can't find Brennan. Oh, well done by young Justin Spiteri. Showing experience beyond his years there. Couldn't quite pick out Bernardo. And here's Kadakpo. I can't even find words to describe what position, what role he's been employed in today, but it's certainly not his usual number 9. He's dropping in.
Looks like he's almost like a 10, Steve.
Yeah. He's dropping into wide areas. He's trying to pick up those half spaces where, usually that man we mentioned, Liram Almazi, would be lurking around like a junkyard dog in front of that back four. And just with a bit of a niggle, finding himself.
I'm not sure Liram will appreciate the junkyard dog comment, but
I thought a player of his attributes would take it in his stride, because I'm sure he prides himself on that, Liram. That's a good ball by Hope, looking for Bernardo, and Harvey Lopez was alert to the danger. So a good spell for Gully, and Josh Hope, who's been one of their leading lights this season, hasn't been able to get much space on the ball, but you can see what he's capable of there.
Yeah, he's a good player. You don't play A-League as many games as he does. Unfortunately, as I said on commentary, on previous times he was very unlucky and not to still be at Victory. Obviously, went through a rough time there, but it's great to see him back playing good football, because he is a very, very good footballer.
Here's Kadakpo trying to get around Benjiva, who was aggressive in his defensive tactics there to try and close him down. Now Marshall's going to get on the end of this loose ball. And again, not taking any chances, as is the style of football we often see here. Players, central defenders. Marshall has made more clearances than anyone in NPL Victoria. At least I saw that stat a couple of weeks ago. He was leading the way ahead of Anthony Banavats from North Geelong. As of round 13. Drivers' diagonal ball. It's brought down by Lampard, but there's a flag up because it had crossed the touchline. Throw-in is the decision away of South in front of the Clarendon corner.
It's a great take, though.
Great take. Very well.
Great diagonal ball, great take. And he was away then if it hadn't been brought back for a throw-in. But again, you can see that Gully are looking to play their unusual style of football, and it seems to be effective at this moment in time.
South have only conceded 2 goals against Gully in their last 7 matches. It's Gully who've come closest to scoring so far in this one this afternoon. Best chance felt to Alan Herrers, and what a save by Harvey Lopez. Bernarda's been a leading light down the left-hand side for Gully. Recalled to the starting lineup. He's worked hard to get back into the starting team after succumbing to injury earlier in the season. We know what he's capable of. We saw him having that fantastic breakout season in NPL Victoria a couple of years ago at Dandenong Thunder, lighting up George Andrews' reserve. And his goal celebrations are worth your price of admission for as well if he can nab one today. As we saw at Altona earlier this season when he collided with the fence in jubilation at Paisley Park. Not something I've seen before. It could be hard to replicate at this venue. The boards might go flying. Well done to whoever sets up all the advertising hoardings here for these home games, by the way. It must be a mammoth task. It must take quite some time. They do a good job of looking after this venue. As we saw it, as we were saying 2 weeks ago, when the corner flag, the post to our right, snapped in half, and there was an official out there in a flash with a bit of replacement PVC pipe to stick into the ground, and the game was halted for only a few moments. This Riak, who recovered from that earlier knock, and Brennan, the substitute. And if you're surprised to see Andy Brennan out there in the first half, because he normally does have to bide his time until the second 45, well, injury to Alan Webb saw an early substitution, an unplanned one for Esteban Quintas. Esteban was there in person at Green Gully Reserve last weekend on Friday night, keeping an eye on what Gully are likely to bring to the table today. No doubt Stephen Downs and Steve Laurie have been watching the tape, and you can certainly tell they have been studying this South Melbourne side very closely, and they've come up with a plan to try and counter them at their own game here, it feels like. Here's Brennan. He played the ball through for Riak. Shriver's heard a voice from Driscoll, who was out well to control the situation. Here's Bernarda and Jeeba. Bernarda sends the South Melbourne right back to the floor. It might fall for Josh Hope. It's a little bit too high and wouldn't sit for him. And the decision goes the way of the home side.
Quintas going to be yellow carded here. This could be his 4th yellow card of the season. He's still going.
He is.
Needs to be very, very careful there. You know, he gets very agitated on the touchline. There's a lot of finger pointing going on, but he has been booked.
Well, he was very much incognito when he was at Green Gully Reserve last weekend on Friday night, but he was out about there, and he's still going. The 4th official, Puya Guderian.
Yeah, he's pulled him across again. I think the 4th official's just had another word in his. He could be sent off here. He could be in trouble. He is. He's going to be sent from the ground.
Oh, a red card is out at Lakeside. Esteban Quintas sent off,
and he's still going.
He is irate. I'm not too sure what the issue he's got is, but that's the end of his afternoon, at least from the technical area. Esteban Quintas finds himself sent off at Lakeside in this match, with South going for their 7th consecutive win in NPL Victoria. They'll have to do it without their coach pitch side. It's been a long time. In fact, I don't know if I've ever commentated a match, Craig, that's seen a coach sent off.
An official sent off. You've seen it now, Steve, and that happened very, very quickly. Not only did he get his first yellow card, he got his second one within the space of a minute. So
that was a high-octane minute.
And here we go.
Here comes Painter Andrews. Wow, what a turn of events. Almost like Green Gully lost their concentration as Quintas was sent off. And Jack Painter Andrews is the beneficiary, scoring his first goal this season in South Melbourne colours.
And just looking
where was the defence for Gully?
And these kiddos just comes running up the tunnels to give it to the linesman. Fantastic.
Well, one of the most bizarre couple of moments of football I've seen sometime in NPL Victoria. Esteban Quintas sent off. Green Gully
Goal for South Melbourne FC, number 44, Jack Painter Andrews. The score is South Melbourne 1, Green Gully 0.
Good finish from Painter Andrews, Steve. With everything that was going on, we sort of lost a little bit there with the game, but it's 1-0, and as we said earlier on, it's now going to make life very difficult for Green Gully. As we know, South tend to sit back and absorb any pressure that comes on them.
I think it was actually a back pass from a Green Gully player that he latched onto as well. Just scanning to see who got the assist in all of that commotion. As you're saying, Quintas hadn't even completed his march down the tunnel yet. And the West Australian scores his first goal in the blue of South Melbourne after making the move from the Bentley Greens last season. That'll really disappoint Stephen Downs and Steve Laurie. As Riak's coming forward again here. Oh, that's a good challenge by Taylor Shrivers, the man who's been ever-present, played more minutes than any other Green Gully player this season. In fact, hasn't missed a minute. And he didn't miss that tackle there. And Cuckoo might have committed the foul here on Andy Brennan, who didn't appreciate the wrap across the metatarsals there.
I'm not sure what's happened in the last couple of minutes, Steve, but everything's just gone a little bit pear-shaped. The dark clouds have appeared above us. It looks as if it's going to absolutely throw it down here at Lakeside. We're a coach down. There's a goal gone in. It's strap yourself in, ladies and gents. You're in for a fantastic 60 minutes.
Ball floated into the back post. Gully need to clear their lines. Lawton, that was the proverbial rainmaker. It's about to let go here. It's going to be raining cats and dogs in any minute. We're going to reach for our FV commentator issue reading lamp here as Mikola's going to fire off the crossbar by Nicola. They don't come any closer than that. Maybe a fortunate ricochet, but on a solid strike. The frame of the goal is still shaking.
Yeah, just need to get some composure now, Gully. Just need to calm things down a little, take the sting, keep the ball, slow things down. Don't let South get into their rhythm. On the ascendancy as we come out, 30 minutes into the game, 31 minutes into the game. Sort of taking the lead and really grab this game by the horns.
The Cavaliers are going to try and keep their chin up here because they're looking so good in this one. And the goal was virtually against the run of play as well. Abdul Rahman Kuku trying to play the ball back, and Painter Andrews was right onto the opportunity, latched onto the pass, making the interception and scoring past Driscoll. Green Gully, they've just struggled to keep clean sheets this season. It's Langlar, bounced awkwardly, but he's still going to control it with help from Mikola. Here's Painter Andrews, who's enjoying himself. He's been freed up from that fullback position, and straight away he's found himself on the score sheet today. He might want to play in the front three every week, I think. Mikola happy to switch balls with the ball kid there to fetch a drier football, and he's going to send in another long bomb, another missile here. This one hangs in the air, away by Bernarda. Painter Andrews nods it down with the cushion header, and Nicola's going to get a good ball into the back post where Brennan is lurking. He's peeled off his man, and his header is onto the roof of the net.
Yeah, Steve Downs would be really disappointed, Steve, here of conceding that goal, and it was a poor back pass that led to that, as you said, and deserve more in this first 30 minutes than that they've got. But I guess when you switch off for that minute, or those games are about inches, we talk about it all the time as coaches, Steve, the games are about inches, and you've got to switch on, and you've got to keep switched on for the full 95 minutes until that final whistle goes. You'd be really disappointed.
Light rain is just starting to fall at Lakeside as we get to the last 10 minutes of the first half. It's in by Brennan. Cuckoo trying to clear it away. Couldn't do so without it going over the byline. It's going to be another corner kick opportunity for South Melbourne. And so many times we've seen South just battling away and breaking even with the team in that sort of 25 to 35 minute mark of the first half is the danger time where they often find that go-ahead goal. And once they get it,
they grab on, don't they?
They are hard to break down.
Yeah.
They've got the breeze behind them, I think, now as well in this one. And the header was by Josh Wallen. A really good ball in. The marking perhaps wasn't tight enough from Gully. Wallen's header was across the face and harmlessly out in the end for a goal kick. And yeah, the weather is turning nasty here. If you're enjoying this one on NPL TV from the comfort of your own home in front of the heater, well, we always insist that here pitch side is the best place to be. That's certainly the next best place to be, is warm and dry. I've got my umbrella for the trip back to the car afterwards as well, Craig, which is a rookie mistake. Every Sunday afternoon match though I've been here, there's been some real rain showers at some point, and it's often when we're leaving. Ball forward by Spiteri. Here's Andy Brennan. First time ball is on for Riak. He can't quite find him. To Andrews with the aerial duel. Cuckoo. Josh Hope with the long locks. It's getting a bit dampened and glistening under the floodlights of Lakeside Stadium. So that ball's just found itself in the seating bay. It landed in the seat. Spiteri. You can see the wind blowing the rain across Lakeside, and Kadakpo, can he get a good ball in? He's got Bernardo in the middle. Oh, it almost fell for Bernardo Augueres, and it was just about good enough defending from South Melbourne in the end.
Look, they've had some joy. They've had some joy getting it in behind the South fullbacks this afternoon, and if they continue to do that and get numbers in the box, they've got a chance. Playing long balls through the middle is not going to help them, because they are big strapping lads at the centre back positions there for South. But in the wide areas is where they've got an opportunity, I think.
Lawson kept his feet there when he maybe could have gone down and tried to take a free kick. Kadakpo looking to get around Evans, and well read by Morgan Evans. Really good defending by the South left back, and that's a foul against Justin Spiteri. Andy Brennan, the Tasmanian, using all of his experience there. Just taking that in his stride, picking up the free kick, and South Melbourne so confident at just controlling the tempo of things and knowing when to slow down, when to speed up. The Gully getting a bit of momentum, just taking their time over that free kick. Forward by Jordan Lampard. Marshall's header, and now Wallen with the diagonal. In behind for the danger man this afternoon, Painter Andrews. Nicola sliding in. Nicola's floated from the left to the right-hand side. And it looks like since South have scored as well, they've certainly reverted back to that one out-and-out target man and three players sitting in behind. Nicola almost in a number 10 position now, actually. Is that a free kick? All ball, says our referee, Estros Carlos. And there's a card coming out for Noel Bernardo, who pleads his innocence.
Yeah, a little bit of afters, I think. Thought he was going to get the free kick, didn't get the free kick. And then barged the South Melbourne player out the way. Referee brought it back for a free kick.
South Melbourne home fans enjoyed the awarding of that yellow card to Noel Bernardo. He's a player that can get under the skin of the opposition. Lopez to take the goal at the free kick in the rain that is just getting heavier and heavier now. Just for a second there, it looked like Painter Andrews was about to get on the end of another long ball. Wasn't that time.
For once in my life, Steve, I'm glad I'm not on one of these gantries today that we have around the grounds, and instead we're on the back seats of the far stand here at Lakeside Stadium. It is cold now, but at least we're dry and none of the equipment is getting wet. Although Matteo looks as if he's going on this going skiing in the Alps, the way he's dressed behind us.
Well, it's not his first rodeo for Matteo, and say a belated happy 30th birthday to Matteo for the other week. He does a great job with these broadcasts, Mateo, our man for Sportscast Australia this afternoon. And he's been here for the doubleheader as well. We're just Johnny come latelys who've just come for this solitary match. Mateo here filming both the NPLW and the NPLM this afternoon. This is good play from Josh Hope, the former Victory man, but good pressure from Langlar. Spiteri is riding shotgun. He's going to have to go all the way back to Driscoll, who's got to wait for that to bounce on the slippery turf. He's already been caught out once by Mikola's pressure before in the last few minutes, and Gully are good enough to get it away. Alan Hedges. Crafty play, winning the throw with a little ricochet off Morgan Evans. Those ball kids got the hoods on there, and tough day to be operating in that role today as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look on the screens as bad as it is out there. The rain is absolutely teeming it down. The pitch is becoming very wet now.
Well, that ball just didn't want to stay in for Alan Harris. Kadakpo wrestling with
strength.
Marshall. It's good strength. And once again, the 224s are going at it. Bernarda and Jeeba. Bernarda's got to keep his feet here.
Got some space.
Still he goes. Draws a crowd. Langlar was getting back to help out Ben Jeeba. And Ben Jeeba recovered really well there after going to ground. He got back up and won the ball and made the clearance.
Yeah,
well done, young man.
Yeah, great job. Because he's a difficult customer to deal with, is Bernardo, when he gets going with that trickery and his left peg.
Spiteri is going to play that ball in, but it was neither a cross or a shot, and very useful as the rain gets heavier, the wind gets stronger. Batten down the hatches, people. I didn't know if this was in the forecast today, Craig.
Didn't see it earlier on, Steve. It really is throwing it down now. It's not the place you want to be out in the middle of that pitch today with your short sleeves on now, that's for sure.
Driscoll in the long sleeves, using all of his penalty area to come out and claim that one.
See, there's us all laughing, and Max Mikola with his gloves on. Who's laughing now, eh?
He's a smart man, Max Mikola.
Hey.
Not the first Queenslander to come down and wear the gloves. The likes of Xander Guy is another one that comes to mind. Avondale. Whistle has gone, and it's going to be a free kick to Gully in the middle of Lakeside in the later stages of the first half. Gully have been good enough value to have maybe chimed in with the goal. Alan Harris coming the closest. A trail leading into half-time. Dooku won the ball, he thought, but the free kick's going to go the way of South. Feel the temperature dropping. Feels like it's dropping by 1 degree every 2 or 3 minutes here at the moment. Here's Josh Hope combining with Lawton. The boy from Ballarat looking to play the ball into the corner. He wasn't on the same page as Jordan Lampard, who didn't continue his forward run from left back. Shrivers with the no-nonsense clearance this time. The fans just about ready to start heading for the canteen or the bar for a break out of the icy weather that has arrived midway through the first half in this one at Lakeside. Can Mikola deliver the long throw with a wet ball and the wet gloves here? Let's see what he's capable of. It's a little bit of a flatter one, a little bit shorter. Away by Lampard, and the cross is dangerous. Oh, Brennan couldn't get a good piece of the header, though.
Look, I think the more this weather stays as it is, and we're not a weather channel by any means, but the more this weather stays like it is, and the quicker that Gully can get into this, into the shed, Steve. If it stays like this in the second half, you know, it would be, for me, just keep pumping balls into that area, because the wind's coming from right to left as we see. So to get a second goal now for South Melbourne will be fantastic For Gully, it'll be catastrophe. But I think if it can stay 1-0 to half time, they go in the sheds, they'll reassess, and then in the second half, I think we might see a lot of direct balls into that South Melbourne box.
He's Painter Andrews, and he's been a handful playing in the front third today after lining up as a fullback recently, showing his versatility up that right-hand side. Winning the free kick here is Mikola, and that's a handy position, and Mikola might be hurt here as well. It's a match in which we've seen a few players going down. We might get a bit of stoppage time at the end of this first half, which is the last thing that anyone will want who's out there in this torrential rain this late May afternoon. The trainer has called out this time for Max Mikola. We've already seen Alan Webb forced off with injury within the first 20 minutes. Ajak Riak's had a bit of treatment, but being able to stay on. There's still more options on the bench for Esteban Quintas, or perhaps his assistant, who will have to call the shots. Ali Suleimani, Brad Norton, it's good to see him back from injury and on the bench. He got on the pitch last week at Moreland City, and it was his first appearance last week since the 26th of March when he was injured at Churchill Reserve against St Albans. I wonder if the trainer could have come out with an umbrella there as well to sit over Max Mikola while he's getting his treatment.
Yeah, I just had a look back. Just had a look back. Look, it was a nasty challenge on the ankle, but I'm sure he'll be fine. But he's walking a little bit gingerly there.
We're now into the second minute of added time. I miss seeing the fourth officials board from Toya Gadirian as to how many minutes will be added on. Maybe the board has become waterlogged and he couldn't hold it up.
Well, we know where this is going, Steve. It's going in that box.
Well, Andy Brennan standing over it. He's been a really good aerial target at the back post. He's been able to peel off and lose his man on multiple occasions. It's he to swing this one in.
Needs a
of
green
course,
gully
Riak
head.
was the target.
Needs a green gully head, and it did. Mikola comes back onto the pitch.
Who will take the throw in here? Mikola's interested. He's got to cover a long distance to get there. This weather's getting absolutely terrible now at Lakeside.
Yeah, the referee hasn't put up his board yet, but I would imagine with the stoppages, we've probably got in excess of probably 3 or 4 minutes, Steve.
Could be as many as 4 minutes as Mikola again switches balls with the ball kid to pick up a drier football, and he's going to send this one in a little flatter again. Langlar tried to flick it at the front post, and Andy Brennan away by Driscoll. A good save down to his left. Brennan looking to double the lead. Green Gully hold out. Driscoll needs to claim this one, and he takes it on the chest.
Yeah, get it forward. Get it forward.
One last attack for Green Gully. Spiteri over the top for Jerez. South Melbourne winning it back easily. Oh, the craft and the skills coming out from Mikola. He's obviously recovered okay from that injury that he just sustained a few moments ago. Andy Brennan now with Jack Painter Andrews to his right. It's Brennan from distance. It's off target.
Yeah, why not? Slippery surface. Get a shot away. But it was way off target. Stays 1-0. And we're into the third minute now of additional time.
Forward by Driscoll. Good flick on by Kadako. She sends it up into the air. It's going to fall for Hope. Good little combination with Lawton, and Hope is charging forward. Kadako tries his luck. Had Alan Jerez out to his right. Lawton couldn't quite find Bernardo, and players are sent to the dry of the dressing rooms by referee Astro.
Half-time here at Lakeside Stadium. The home team's leading 1-0. It's South Melbourne 1, Green Gully 0.
South 1-0 at half-time. A familiar scoreline. 1-0 over Green Gully. Jack Painter Andrews capitalising on a defensive mistake. A back pass from Abdul Rahman Kuku. Painter Andrews latching onto it and firing the ball past Liam Driscoll on 29 minutes. first half has probably gone to plan for South, you would say, apart from the coach being sent off.
Yeah, that probably didn't go to plan, but yeah, look, it was bread and butter. As you said, Steve, in commentary, and it's that 25-minute mark when they seem to grab hold of teams and get that first goal, and then it's very difficult for teams to come back. But look, Gully have done well to keep it at 1-0. The weather here is awful. The wind's very strong, as we said, coming from right to left.
Melbourne
In
FC
the second
would like
half,
to thank the
we'll see a
following corporate
different game.
for supporting us during the 2023 season.
Gully coming as close as they came with Helen Harris forcing a great reaction save from close range by Andy Lopez. At the moment, he's on track for yet another clean sheet. Half time at Lakeside Stadium. We'll take a short break. Myself, Steve Curtin, alongside Greg Fire. Look forward to your company after half time. The second half, we'll be back after this short break. South Melbourne 1, Green Gully at half time.
PDG, Calligra.
back to Lakeside Stadium for this Sunday afternoon fixture. It's the NPL Victoria round 15. South Melbourne leading the visiting Green Gully by 1-0, courtesy of a finish by Jack Painter Andrews, scoring his first South Melbourne goal on 29 minutes in the first half. And South Melbourne are without their manager, Esteban Quintas, who was sent off after a verbal exchange with fourth official Puru Guderian midway through the first half. In fact, right before Jack Painter Andrews scored, he was shown one yellow card by Astro Sakalis, continued on, was shown a second, and finds himself watching this one and giving instructions via his mobile telephone, no doubt, from the grandstand. Anyway, welcome back for the second half. Craig.
Allegedly, Steve. Yes? Allegedly. Well, we, as we said just before the break there, that the rain was throwing it down, and maybe that might play into Gully's hands in this second half with a strong right to left wind as we look at it. But the wind is gone, the rain is gone, and if we look to the right-hand side, we've got a fantastic red sunset. So maybe
there's a half-time substitution for South Melbourne coming on. Number 10, Marcus Shrone, replacing number 44, Jack Painter Andrews.
Maybe not what Gully were hoping for. But as you probably just heard on the tannoy there has been a substitution for South Melbourne with Painter Andrews coming off.
And he's the substitute, Marcus Shrone, playing that one in. And once again, a really good judge of his surroundings there by Liam Driscoll, coming out to claim that one at the feet of Ajak Riak. But there you go, Marcus Shrone getting out there and straight away a bit of a warning shot with that through ball that he fired through to his number 9, Ajak Riak. And you can only imagine that must be most likely a bit of an injury issue for Jack Painter Andrews, because he had a good first half, I thought, and was rewarded with a goal midway through it. But his afternoon is done, as is Alan Webbs, who was forced off with injury midway through the first half. Now, here's a chance for Gully to attempt the long throw. In it comes. Doyle was the target. Ajak Riak back doing the defensive duties and puts it behind for a corner kick. So a goal now for Green Gully would be massive in the context of this match. As it stands, they are on track to lose their 4th consecutive game in NPL Victoria, the longest losing streak that would be that they've had in 3 years. It's Bernardo to take. Plenty of purchase on it, maybe a little bit too much, but Shrivers gets there. Kadakpo and Yankovic competing for that ball at the top of the 6-yard box, and an easy claim in the end for Harvey Lopez. Thanks for your company in the second half of this one. Steve Curtin and Craig Filer with you. What else can we expect to see in this second half? Craig, can Stephen Downs turn to the bench and try and change something? Or is it just going to be more of the same, do you think?
Yeah, look, in the early doors of the second half, again, you can see they're a lot more direct than that we're used to seeing them. As we said, not to go on like a broken record, they are a very good football inside who like to get it down and play, but they're mixing it up today, and it's good to see that the teams can adapt to the situations. And I think it's really important that teams can adapt to change different styles. It would have been something they've worked on during the week in their training session, no doubt. But look, I think more balls into these wide areas here, which is where they had a bit of success in that first half, and making sure then they get numbers in the box. As you said, it's a really important game for Gully now to stop that rot. 3 games on the bounce. It's as the live ladder stands, they're 4 points now behind Dandenong Thunder in 6th place. So getting a point here, you're only a win away. A loss, and it's 2 wins. So it's a really important 40 minutes for Steve Downs' side.
Yeah, Dandenong Thunder have probably hit form at the wrong time as far as Green Gully is concerned. The Thunder 4-0 winners yesterday at St Albans, getting themselves into the top 6 at the expense of Green Gully, who a few weeks ago looked fairly well entrenched in the top 6.
Yeah, it's really funny how football changes, Steve. Davy Chick's Dandenong Thunder were really struggling. 6 or 7 weeks ago. I know we played them in the Football Victoria Cup, Australia Cup as it is now, and we took them to 118 minutes, and they were struggling at the time. I remember speaking to Dave and said it's a real struggle at the moment. But look, they've got their act together. They're winning games now, and they're only 2 points off fifth, but 9 points off 4th. So the race is on really for those top 6 spots now, isn't it?
It is. There's a bit of a runaway train in those top sort of 4 sides, I suppose. With South, along with Avondale in the top 2, and Oakley and the Knights. What an exciting game that was on Friday night as well. Oakley Cannons 2, Melbourne Knights 2. Knights coming back into that one at Jack Edwards, and really big game coming up next week as well, round 16. The Knights and South Melbourne. Free kick going the way of South here. Mikula's down, and the entire Green Gully technical area is up out of their seats. They're not happy with what they've seen either.
Yeah, just going to look back at the replay on that now in full view here. It looked like a good challenge. Ball was there to be won. It looked like a good challenge. The referee thought about it for a few seconds before blowing his whistle and giving a free kick to South Melbourne, of which the Green Gully players certainly weren't happy with. Look, I suppose given looking at it again, he did sort of dive in a little bit and feet off the ground there from James Doyle.
He slid a long distance.
He did. He left the ground a little bit early, and so it's probably the correct decision. And well done, referee.
So Andy Brennan it is, who's the player who felt the full effects of the challenge. But the entire Green Gully technical area was up on their feet. They thought that was in their mind, they thought that it was a good challenge from James Doyle, who was committed. Definitely got some of the ball, but gets himself a yellow card, concedes the foul. Andy Brennan's going to be okay. A lot of paperwork today for Astro Sakalis, our man in the middle.
Yeah, just looking at that decision against you, I think the referee's spot on with that one. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and congratulate him on that. We don't always give them congratulations, but on that occasion he was 100% spot on.
Well, there's a yellow card now being shown to, I'm not sure if it was Stephen Downs or Steve Laurie over there. I'd say it was one of the two Steves. Has now been shown the yellow card. So Esteban Quintas has seen 2 yellow cards and been marched down the tunnel, and now a yellow card directed in the direction of the Cavaliers technical area. So
we could just see Quintas there in the tunnel there of behind the 4th official or 3rd official.
Well, the situation's been left to the assistant, Jai Cohen, for South Melbourne for the rest of the afternoon after Quintas's sending off. And luck was a fortune, and they scored within a minute of that happening. That's the difference. The only difference separating these sides is Mikula's long throw comes in. Good punch away by Driscoll. And he finds Kadakpo with it as well. It's going to run through to Ben Jeeber and then all the way back to Harvey Lopez as the rain has returned. The crowd is getting more and more hostile here. As we mentioned in the first half, there was a bit of feeling between these two sides after that 1-0 result in the semi-final last season. South Melbourne getting through, and the injury sustained that day by Ben Jeeber. The late tackle that he received. And, of course, that happened right in front of the Clarendon corner. Here's that man, Jeeber, who's recovered and back playing good football. At right back for South Melbourne, the 23-year-old. Chance for the throw for Gully. Lampard to Hope. Kadakpo. Fortin switching the play. Spiteri getting forward. Justin Spiteri. Can he float in a good ball for Kadakpo? It's too close to Harvey Lopez. And that is not what the doctor ordered for Green Gully. So a good day for South Melbourne so far. 4-3 winners in the NPLW in a thriller against Burundura Carey Eagles. And at the moment, the men's side are looking like making it 2 results from 2 this afternoon. Well, that was a good attack on the football by Lawton, and the advantage
Opportunity here
is allowed for Bernarda. What a strike that was, or what a goal that could have been, should I say. Well, Bernarda. And full credit to young Leighton Lawton there, the boy from Ballarat. Really good attack on the football. He would have received a foul, but Green Gully electing to keep playing, and that was the right call, I think, for me. And Bernarda wasn't far away, and that might just give him a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, probably could have took that in a little bit more, Steve. Maybe had a run at Jankovic, I think it was, that was tracking him. But nevertheless, it's fired over the bar and it stays 1-0. But it's promising from Gully again. Getting into those wide areas, as I said in the first half, Steve, that's a great ball.
Oh, Kadakbo, the ball from Alan Perez was of the highest order, as you mentioned, Craig.
Yeah, those wide areas, I think, is where it's they're going to hurt South Melbourne. As long as the delivery is good and there's numbers in the box there, so there's a chance. And the longer it stays at 1-0, you know, the chance will be there for them.
Well, the rain has passed again as Shrivers judges that one well. Evans getting in there, and now Cuckoo playing it forward. It's not pretty football, but it's an engrossing battle between these two sides. On a wet track at Lakeside. Here's Nicola. Good challenge, Spiteri, who's growing and growing into this game. Nicola getting back to pick up the ball. And the foul goes against the unlucky Lawton there, who just got himself a little bit tangled up, and the fleet-footed Nicola cleverly winning the free kick.
Yeah, you talk about styles of play there, Steve, and, you know, maybe not the most prettiest game to watch, but leagues are won on wins, not on how well you played. It's how many points you get in the bag at the end of the season. But you know, you could say that about Arsenal. Some of the football they played this year has been fantastic, but didn't win anything. So, but then Melbourne's Man City did play beautiful football and did win the league. So every coach has their style. Nobody knows whether it's right or wrong. It's their style, and seems to be working for South Melbourne, doesn't it? For the last few years, they've instilled this game style into them, which has now become the way.
Yeah, looks very assured out there. Every match that they play, they're confident at home. Their only loss for the season also did come at home to Heidelberg United. But definitely a really hard place to go now, Lakeside Stadium. That's not just talking about the traffic to get here on a Sunday afternoon. Here's Lampard playing it through for Kadakpo, who makes an intelligent run. It was well read by Marshall, making the clearance once again. It's the first time we've seen that this season. Jake Marshall getting his foot in at the right time. South Melbourne have got plenty of players back to defend this opportunity for Gully. Here's Kadakpo. Not sure of his best option here, Kadakpo. He's going to cut and chop, and he tried to pull the trigger. It was a good block by Andy Brennan. The ball almost wanted to stay in off the corner post, but it will be a corner kick to Gully. So Doyle and Shrivers come forward. As we've seen, as you mentioned earlier, Craig, everyone back in the penalty area to defend this one for South. That's their system. They're not going to change that, especially when they're leading the match 1-0. Alan Harris to take the in-swinger.
Delivery now, front post here. This looks, as goes.
He's really put his foot through that one, and that might have just about ended up in the lake if he kicked that any harder.
Yeah, it's a poor corner there. Big space there on that front post. Obviously, South Melbourne pulling 2 defenders out to mark the second player that had come out from Gully, and there was a big space if it was noticed for the run-in, but it didn't materialise. The ball was out for a throw.
Spiteri's header. Touched by Hope, but played forward by Marshall. Good play by Leighton Lawson. He's got a little bit of space in front of him, but he's playing low in hot pursuit. Kidakpo receiving from Bernarda. Ado Kidakpo playing it in. I might almost stay in the penalty area, but eventually South will get that one away. Really good first touch by Lampard. But down from the sky, the twilight sky here by Lakeside. By the Albert Park Lake, Harvey Lopez and Marshall Cooley playing out from the back here, South. Jeeba got that intelligently out of his feet so he could put on the afterburners and run away from Alan Jerez, but his final ball wasn't the best.
No. Just looking at the Green Gully substitutes warming up on that far side. I wonder how long it'll be before Steve Downs does make a substitution. He does have...
Josh Hope is running with his pants have fallen down here, Josh Hope, and he's won himself a free kick as well.
Yeah, just wondering how long it'll be before when a substitute does have some good options on the bench. Obviously, Gianluca Iannucci and Pierce Waring back fit. I wonder if it'll be too early for Pierce to come on, maybe give him 20 minutes.
Yeah, Iannucci has been a mainstay in the starting team this season. 12 appearances, 1 goal and 6 assists. So he's got that creative spark, Iannucci.
Yeah, and maybe that, as I said, that those crosses, those get the ball into those wide areas. I'll just stop for a second.
Into the near post. Just needed a touch there, but no one could get on the end of it. Bernarda had the outstretched leg, but he was some distance away, and he gets back up to his feet looking a bit proppy. And given that he hasn't had a start for a while, he might be one of the players that are sacrificed for one of those options. Tyler Vecchio is the other obvious attacking option as well, who's had a good run of starts of late. Another former West Australian in this Gully team. He's pretty useful in the wide areas. Operates down the left-hand side usually.
Offside.
Yeah, we were in the perfect position to see that one. Riak was off by about a metre. And an easy call for Daniel Anderson, the assistant referee on this near side. Good play, Yankovic into the feet of Riak. And now Mikola spraying that pass out to Andy Brennan, who is charging down the left-hand side. He's got Riak and Schroen in the middle. If he can find them, it's in for Riak. Got the touch, but couldn't direct it goal bound. Really good play from Andy Brennan out on the flank.
Yep, it's a good play there. Good run inside from Max Mikola, allowing the space down the outside for Andy Brennan to run into. Good ball into the box, but just couldn't. Riak couldn't quite direct it.
Oh, it's a somewhat like-for-like change in central midfield.
Substitution for South Island FC coming off. Number 14, Josh Wallen.
Bringing on
Being replaced by number 2, Luram Almazi.
As you mentioned earlier, Craig, you got the scoop that Luram's just had a bit of an injury niggle that he's battling, so he's just playing less than half an hour today in this one rather than the full 90, as he normally is one of the first names on the team sheet for Esteban Quintas in that number 6 role. There he is, winning the header straight away. Almazi, instant impact from him.
Yeah, he'll be there just to shore up that midfield, Steve. Make sure there's that defensive cover.
It's forward by Cuckoo. I feel like we haven't called his name a great amount today. It's tough to find space in the centre of the park here at Lakeside for the visiting team. Here's Almazi with his second involvement and his third. Couldn't quite find anyone with that pass. Runs out of play.
Did watch his brother play yesterday afternoon. Festim down there in Corio had a 4-1 win in State League 1 Northwest. He came off the bench to score 2.
Well played by Festim, who is an attacker by trade, if I'm right, as opposed to his brother, who is central defender back in his day, at least, a midfielder now. It's ball over the top. Brennan should be onside here, but Won't be able to get there in time as he puts the thumb up to recognise the quality of the angle pass. Or at least the idea to try and pick him out. Spiteri, and he's been caught late there, Justin Spiteri, who's gone down to the... He's on the turf, and that one stung a little bit. Get back up and hobble away. Doesn't want to take any more time off the clock. The young Green Gully right back. Only 18 years of age, Justin Spiteri.
It's great to see that Gully had given a youngster of 18 years old. He was 17 when he came into the squad, and it's great to see an NPL club giving those youngsters an opportunity. A lot's talked about it, but
actually doing it's another thing.
Absolutely,
isn't it?
yeah.
A couple of appearances for him last season, and then this is his 13th appearance already this season. So he's become a regular fixture in the Green Gully Cavaliers lineup. Ball aimed forward at Alan Jerez. Bernardo trying to win off the second ball off Marshall, but eventually Yankovic is there to mop up, and South Melbourne just getting plenty of numbers back to really not give these Cavaliers a sniff at all. And Riak's going to be offside again for the second time in almost as many minutes. Ball's angled ball for Kadakpo. Good duel. Morgan Evans is another man who's gets under the radar a bit. He's a hard man to get past as well. Morgan Evans, the left back, 20-year-old as well. So another young product out of the South Melbourne team. And he turns 21 next Sunday, does Morgan Evans. So he'll be celebrating by this time next week, especially if they get the win today and another win over the Melbourne Knights next Friday night.
Gosh, a year for Gully, Steve, down in that.
Yeah, it's like a problem for Kadakpo.
Looks like Kadakpo, yeah.
Maybe we will see Pierce Waring called upon. So we have to await the taking of this throw.
The issue here is he's going to have to come off the field as well, which means you're not going to get him in that defensive position.
Make it use his height too.
Yep. Looks as if Pierce Waring's heading down the tunnel. I presume that's maybe to get his last.
Oh, space for Yankovic. Oh, and it just sat up and he tried to control it. His hope was across to block it. Pierce Waring down the tunnel, Craig, either to fetch his shin pads or off for a nervous one before he gets his chance to return from injury.
Yeah, it looks like Kadakpo's going to be coming back on. Looks like he's okay to come back on. Let's see how long that's for. But for the moment, he's back on the field.
He looks pretty proppy at the moment. Shrivers all the way back to Driscoll. Smacked forward on the left boot. Great header for Langlar. Followed by Shrivers. That one evades Kadakpo, and again, no nonsense from Yankovic. Some of those results from NPL Victoria this weekend. Heidelberg United 1-0 winners against Hume on Friday night, as well as we mentioned Oakley and the Knights 2-2. Yesterday, the Bentley Greens 1, Moreland City 3. Good result for Moreland there. St Albans 0, Dandenong Thunder 4, Port Melbourne 4, North Geelong 0. And a high scorer last night, Altona 2, Avondale 5. Shown might be offside, but Riak is on here. This is Ajak Riak, and what a good block by Taylor Shrivers. Both he and Lampard were at full stretch to block that one. Good commitment from those defenders.
Yeah, great defending that. Putting your body in when it hurts, and great block.
Good work in the lead up by Andy Brennan, who skipped past a couple. Played a wall pass off James Doyle in effect. That would have been a good assist had Riak been able to do the damage. It's been a little bit quieter the second half, Riak, since the first half injury. Away at the front post by Hope. And Jerez is charging after this ball, and he's going to win a free kick here as Mikkel is getting into his back. big hello to our audience on NPL TV, wherever you're tuning in. We hope you're enjoying this one, whether it's from Melbourne, further afield in Victoria, interstate or abroad, as Addo Kadakpo is going to be going off, and it is a return for Pierce Waring.
Substitution for Green Gully coming on,
What a
number
good play
9,
to be able to
Pierce
bring back
Waring, replacing
team.
number 22, Adolf Kadakpo.
Pierce Waring, who was having an excellent season, 8 goals and 3 assists. He's missed the last 3 games, and coincidentally, they've lost all 3.
Yeah, that's a big. It's almost like having a new signing for him, isn't it? They've three games down, haven't had him on the pitch, and now they're getting back on the pitch with 20 minutes of this game to play. Can he make an impact? Certainly going to put himself about, that's for sure. He's, as you said, very, very good in this in the first few games of the season. With him and Luke Jego really pulling the strings for Gully.
It's Josh Hope receiving from Lawton. Comes back off El Mazi. Now Lawton away by Langlar. This is a good duel and well played by James Doyle against Riak. You can hear Liam Driscoll there through our effects mic, directing traffic in front of him. Drivers ball forward. Waring popping up in the half space. Spiteri ran into a brick wall in the shape of Nicola there. Time just ticking away. We're inside the last 20 minutes of this one. South very much playing on the break now and inviting Gully to try and come at them, and Waring's going to do so. Plenty of numbers back in the blue shirts. Here's Norton. And now Brennan. He's got Jeeper to his right, but he decides to intelligently switch the play back out to Mikla. That was a really good ball by Andy Brennan. And here's Mikla trying to get around Justin Spiteri. He gets to the byline and floats it in for Andy Brennan. Looked like he was about to try and head home there as it just sailed a little bit too long for him. Doyle now for Lampard. Pressure from Brennan, but the ball forward is easily dealt with again, this time by Yankovic. Yankovic and Marshall have been as solid as ever today. I feel like a broken record coming here and saying that at Lakeside, at South Melbourne games, but that's just what is happening out there once again. He's Waring. Looks to be moving okay. He suffered that injury in the match against Dandenong Thunder a month ago where he slid in for a ball and the top of his shin, just above the shin pad, made full contact with the upright at the northern end there at Green Gully Reserve. Just a real frightful collision and a little bit of bone stress, no doubt, is needed to be rested. And now he's looking, trying to get back that match sharpness. And they got the free kick here by Spiteri.
Yellow card here, Steve. No, referee decides to keep it in his pocket, just telling him to calm down.
Just a warning from Astro Sakalis. He's going to get out, reach for the spray can.
Good opportunity here for Gully. Just over 15 minutes left. Good delivery here. Needed.
Well, everyone back for South to defend this one. It's a high-ish line on the edge of the penalty area. In by Lampard, and there's too much on it. Harvey Lopez, like picking apples. Just says, thank you very much.
Yeah, he'll have them all day.
Kuku's touch. El Mazi. Well read by Spiteri. That's a free kick to Alan Jerez. He was caught in a tangle there with Morgan Evans. South Melbourne just seem content to ride this one out, this 1-0 lead that they have. That's a good header by Ben Jeeba, and again, the no-nonsense clearance this time. It's from Andy Brennan, man who wore the green and white back in 2019. Wearing receiving from Lampard. Good involvement for the substitute. Hope's going to try his luck from distance. Maybe that was a little too far out. Nicola sends it forward, but again, there's not a lot of players getting forward in the blue shirts, and it's easy for the Cavaliers to deal with this one. And Doyle now on the left foot. What a duel between Jeeba and Bernardo. They've been going at it all afternoon. Here they go again. This time Bernardo receiving, trying to get away from his marker. And Jeeba with the recovery. He's going to win the free kick. Well played again by Ben Jeeba. I wonder how long till Stephen Downs looks to make his next substitution.
Yeah, it's just looking at Bernardo there. He looks a little bit jaded now, looks a little bit tired. Worked hard in that first half against the wind on that far side. Maybe the pace of Iheanacho now with just under 15 minutes to go of regulation time. Maybe what's needed.
It's a strong header by Evans, and then away by Spiteri, and head tennis continues. Goes out of play for a Gully throw. Hope with the raking switching pass, but of course it's not the widest pitch in NPL Victoria. It runs out of play. Bernardo playing ball boy to try and keep things going quickly. South Melbourne chasing their 7th consecutive win and their 10th match unbeaten in season 2023 consecutively. They're on track to do it at the moment. This is good play, Spiteri. The socks down. The young man almost looks like a throwback out there as the ball comes in. Waring was there. Goes through to Bernardo. Once he got in this one-on-one duel with Jeeba. Bernardo gets it in. And it's away by Marshall at the front post.
Just going back to that, Justice Spiteri take then. That was a fantastic take, mid-air. Broke the lines and set the play. Very well played from the young man. It is a substitution. Looks as if Fallon Jerez is going off.
And a chance for Tyler Vecchio, the 20-year-old West Australian.
Number seven, Tyler Vecchio, replacing number 17, Alan Jerez.
And the former Perth Glory man has 2 goals and 1 assist to his name this season so far since coming across the Nullarbor. And Lawton running out of room and collecting the advertising hoardings. Put in a fair shift today as Leighton Lawton. Always tough playing against this South Melbourne midfield. Here's Abdul Rahman Kuku. Waring his first touch was a little bit too far in front of him. Well played by Ben Jeeba. Using the full width of the park. Doyle's header now. Lampard. Gully certainly enjoying lots of the ball, but hard to generate opportunities. They've been getting into the final third, but there's always a player back there for South to clear the danger.
Much better from Gully. They've had a lot of ball in the second half, Steve. I was just thinking how many opportunities South Melbourne have had, and it's not been many.
Here's Vecchio, the fresh legs, plays it in. Waring was lurking, but Harvey Lopez was gathering the ball first. Well, he was in the right spot there, Pierce Waring, where you have to be as an attacker. Vecchio's cross was easily collected by Harvey Lopez, who had that one really good save from Alan Herres midway through the first half when the scores were 0-0. You wonder how that would have changed the game state had the Cavaliers taken the lead here at Lakeside.
Look at double substitution for South Melbourne on the far side.
So we might be seeing Bradley Norton come on. He's, as we said, returning from injury last week against Moreland City, and good to see him back for the first time since he was injured at St Albans back in March. And he got a really good ovation last week when he came on, even though that they were away from home. So there was certainly a lot of South fans who travelled to CB Smith last week. But the first change we're going to see looks like it's going to be Ali Suleimani.
Coming on for Andy Brennan. Subbing the sub.
Yeah, Brennan going off on this near side, making the long and somewhat lonely walk all the way around as he leaves the field. The other player coming off will be Max Mikla, who seems like he doesn't want to go off. Well, he does make his way.
Double substitution for South Melbourne FC. Coming off, number 7, Andy Brennan, and number 22, Max Mikola, being replaced by number 21, Ali Suleimani, and the skipper, number 11, Brad Norton.
So Ali Suleimani is going to operate on the right-hand side of the attack, and Brad Norton coming on to work himself up and down the left-hand side. Both of those players in the long sleeves. Another player in long sleeves is Jeeva, who launches that throw forward. Norton, no one ahead of him. So forward by Shrivers, looking at Waring, but couldn't find him. Suleimani putting himself about straight away. Couldn't get a touch on the ball. Marshall across to put that one out of play. Gully gaining some metres, but still finding it tough to get a meaningful attempt on goal in this second half with this defence that's lying quite deep at the lake end of Lakeside Stadium. Here's Vecchio. Gets past his man. Now Lawton. He's got Lampard out on this near side. Jordan Lampard, the skipper. Vecchio, who's dropped inside, plays it out in front of Spiteri. He needs to get a good cross in. It's partially blocked and away by Langlar now.
Yeah, patient football from Gully, who themselves are going to make the substitution.
It's the end of the afternoon for Abdul Rahman Kuku, and it looks like Gianluca Iannucci's going to get his chance.
Substitution
in
for
the
Green
midfield
Gully.
three rather than the front three.
Coming off.
He's operated in both of those functions in the last couple of weeks.
Replaced by number 11, Gianluca Iannucci.
Not sure which one he prefers.
Yeah, look, I like him on this touchline. He's got pace to burn. He gets past players, does cause problems.
We're well and truly into the last 10 minutes here at Lakeside. Green Gully chasing a goal that would be handy and it would put an end to this winning streak that South Melbourne are enjoying. 6 on the bounce. Drop ball is the call here, so Langlar's going to receive it and South Melbourne can come forward again through Yankovic. Reacts to the target. It's a good touch from Riak, but he collides with Lawton. It was a chance for Gully if Waring could keep that in, but he's not able to do so. Big hello to everyone tuning in from home. Joel in East Geelong, a special shout out to you this afternoon. There's Ajak Riak, who's been quiet in his second half. He's really trying to put himself about in the last couple of minutes. Langlar, the man who, of course, scored a double last week. It's a high ball aimed at Suleimani, but it's a good header by Lampard. Here's the fresh legs of Gianluca Iannucci. Heard a voice from Josh Hope inside, who goes on a marauding run, does Josh Hope. He's got Waring ahead of him. Spitteri's out on the flank, and so's Vecchio. Tyler Vecchio And he should win a corner kick here, and he does. So chance for Gully to throw the big men forward in the 85th minute.
Yeah, I thought he might have got that out. It was well worked from Gully. Got the ball into those wide areas. I thought he might have had his first touch, got out in front of him and put the ball into the box. Delaying it allowed South Melbourne just to get back into a structure in the 18-yard box, but they do get a corner from it. So let's see what they can conjure up from this one.
It's in towards the penalty spot. Waring was there. Oh, and it's over the bar. Gully looking more dangerous and playing the best football I've seen them play in probably some weeks, just finding themselves on the wrong side of the scoreline at the moment.
Certainly had a better half, better of this second half for sure. They look like the team that's going to score. That's always dangerous when you're pushing. It does open the door the other side for the opposition, but they look pretty solid at the moment, Gully, from a defensive aspect.
We're getting numbers around the ball and in the right places at the moment, Green Gully, and Bernardo's got himself out of position just as I said that, and now Ben Jeeber's coming forward. Good sliding challenge from Gianluca Iannucci, and they do win themselves a throw, so they look to take this quickly because Hope's got space in the centre of Lakeside Stadium. Spiteri, Vecchio ahead of him. Oh, it was well read by Morgan Evans. A bit of a tangle between Evans and Spiteri ahead of the ball, and now Lawton makes an intelligent run, drawing Yankovic out to the wide area. Oh, and it looks like a foul that's going to go the way of South Melbourne. I thought, well, it was hard to tell from this position who was actually at fault, Craig.
Yeah, I can't. Looks like it might be Iannucci.
Lawton is the player for Gully, but he was down in pain, but the free kick goes against him, and he does pick up a yellow card for his trouble, does Leighton Lawton. Ben Jeeber, who's put in a fair shift at right back, is looking a bit worse for wear too. He's feeling a bit of cramp. Ali Suleimani, he hasn't had a lot to do since coming on, as one of his acts has been to race back and stretch out the legs of his teammate Ben Jeeber. Here's Riak, dropping deep to pick up the ball. Pressure from Doyle and Iannucci. Well played by Jeeber. Doyle winning it back. It's a Gully throw right on the halfway line. 2.5 minutes to go plus stoppages. Lampard couldn't keep that one in. Good signs for Gully in this second half. Just unable to find a goal. They've got what will be a good opportunity to pick up some points next weekend. It's the Big Green at home at Green Gully Reserve next Friday night at 8 o'clock against Bentley. Bentley, who lost 3-1 yesterday to Moreland City. Waring's knocked down. It goes straight to Norton. Now here's Riak. It's a good duel between Riak and Doyle. And that one's crossed the byline. Gully in a hurry to take this one. It's going to be route one from Driscoll. The header is by Marshall. And then the second one is also by Marshall. Forward by Shrone. Iannucci wailing out in pain. He's back up on his feet. Ball by Suleimani for Norton. Keeps it in for Langlar. Shrone had his pocket picked, and here comes Gully.
If they can break quickly.
They need to get it going forward quickly, as you say. Iannucci. Oh, and he just couldn't kick out Vecchio. And his Hope. Josh Hope for Gully. Oh, good tackle, Schroen. Just shows you the depth of this South Melbourne squad, the quality of players that they can bring on and make a difference in this game. Marcus Schroen coming on in the second half. Also the likes of Brad Norton, Ali Suleimani, and also today Liram Almazi. So yeah, the depth of the South Melbourne team is certainly a strength.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 5 minutes at a time.
Here's Vecchio trying to get in behind. He's unable to get past the combination of Yankovic and Evans. So we are into stoppage time now. So time running out for Gully with this 4 minutes of additional time they have to try and find an equaliser. Played some good football in this second half. Waring on the turn. Straight down the middle of the goal, and once again, Harvey Lopez makes another save, which is fairly regulation by his standards. Good minutes, though, for Pierce Waring, getting back out there, and he'll be better for the run next week, no doubt, as he pulls up okay. And
yeah, and that's a big game for next week, isn't it? At home against Bentley Greens, who were on the wrong side yesterday of a beating. They'll be looking to certainly win that one, and him coming back in will certainly help them.
Nada giving chase. Yankovic taking out the advertising hoardings. Well, it's looking like a good day for South Melbourne as it stands, apart from the sending off, the expulsion of their coach Esteban Quintas. Assistant coach Jai Cohen has been able to hold the fort in the technical area for Esteban okay. But I suppose that means that Quintas will also be unable to be in the technical area for the big clash this Friday night against the Melbourne Knights. That one, 7:30 at Knight Stadium. There should be a decent crowd turning up for that one too. Good weather forecast for Melbourne this coming Friday. I think something like 17 degrees and sunny, so a bit more pleasant than what we've seen this afternoon. South Melbourne are almost there, 90 seconds or so. Suleimani tries to flick it on. Riak, Langlar. Schroen's ball over the top. Riak still there, and Langlar, his shot is blocked. Well, that would have brought the crowd to their feet. Chiba showing a little bit of flair, and Kraft was the young fullback, and he's hobbling away now with a bit of a knock to his ankle, I think. It's offside against Ajak Riak. It's his third offside this second half. Chiba's is going to have to just run out this one, and it looks like Brad Norton's dropped into left back, and Evans has shuffled across to right back for these final moments here for South Melbourne to hang on. Surely that won't upset the apple cart for South, or will it? They repel this one.
It's been really good pressure the second half, Steve, from Gully. They've got the ball, they've looked to play, got it into those wide areas. Just that defensive block of South Melbourne, we've mentioned so many times that they are just ruthless when it comes to defending a lead, and any team that comes down to like Sud Stadium knows that they can't afford.
Oh, that was close.
That was a fantastic ball in from young Josh Viteri there. Just missed. I think Josh Hope was sliding at the back post.
Well, Spiteri has put in an excellent shift, particularly in this second half today. A real coming-of-age game for young Spiteri. And that should just about be it here at Lakeside Stadium, and South Melbourne about to clinch a win and extend their streak. Harvey Lopez is told to get a move on. Headed by Doyle. Here's Waring. Last chance. Saloon stuff here for the Cavaliers. Waring runs into Suleimani. And that's it. And South Melbourne make it Melbourne. Make it Melbourne.
Particularly, they had a couple of opportunities to score early on. Second half, they came out of the blocks and they were much better side. From a South Melbourne perspective, as we keep saying, Steve, they're just a difficult side to play against here at Lakeside Stadium. They get an early goal, they shut up shop, and it makes any team coming here very difficult to try and get the win. And they go on that fantastic run, and it keeps them up there. 40 points at the
South Melbourne at 7:30 to kick off a massive round 16. Looking forward to it. But for now, we will sign off from Lakeside Stadium, where at the end of the day, it is South Melbourne 1, Green Gully 0. From Craig Filer and Steve Curtin, thanks for your company and good evening.
All right.